I want to show you guys something. Lucky and Napoleon are both on the lounge chair. That's how they spend their days when they're outdoors. I'm going to crack the door open so you can see. There they both are. Okay. There's Lucky and Napoleon. Hi, Napoleon. Go play with Lucky. Lucky, you don't want to play with Napoleon? They're usually both lounging on, Napoleon lounges on this chair, and Lucky lounges on this chair right here. But they're usually there, just kind of keeping an eye out. Doing dog guard duty. See, there's Napoleon. Getting comfortable. And there's Lucky. Eating a little bit of dog food. I just gave them some more water. I'm going to fill up their dog food bowl because it's getting pretty empty. But they're doing well. Hi, Napoleon. Babies are doing good. So we bought their, well, Lucky already has a jacket. Hi, Lucky. Look at you. You're wearing your jacket, baby. You look so cute. And Napoleon is wearing his jacket. You look so cute, Napoleon. No, you can't take it off, baby. But he's got to get used to his jacket. But he's got a jacket now for when it gets really cold out here. No. No, leave it alone. Leave it alone. No. Okay, just wanted to show you guys that. It's okay, Lucky. It's alright, mamas. And there's Napoleon drinking some water. I want to show you Lucky. She uses both her paws to hold her little beef pitzel stick. They're called pitzel sticks, and they chew them and they eat them. But she's using both her paws to chew it, and she's working on the tip. Such a smart baby. And Napoleon, I gave him a little kebab, and he's working on his kebab. But we try and give these babies treats that they can chew with. He's teething, so it helps his teeth a lot and his gums to be chewing on stuff. Lucky, she's 6 years old. She's way past her teething stage, but she loves the snacks. So she's enjoying her little pitzel stick. I got them a bag. I just purchased a new bag on Amazon for them of pitzel sticks.
Have you heard about, I'm back on isolation block at the prison?
I don't think so. Well, welcome back to Museum Diaries.
Hi,
I'm here with
everyone.
Veronica the Duchess, and she's got more of her unpublished material, Sister Me, that she's going to share with us today. These are very interesting stories, and they're very intricate. Have a listen, and you know, hopefully nobody ever ends up in prison that hears these stories. But if you do, I'm sure that you can relate to some of these stories. So, okay, by all means.
All right, here we go. Now, they're not going to be in page sequence all the way through because I have to go through the entire manuscript and put everything back in order. But anyway, I'll do my best. So welcome. And
you might hear the dogs barking in the background. Napoleon and Lucky are outside right now. They have their jackets on because it's a little chilly. But if you hear any barking, that's the babies outside just doing guard dog duty in the yard.
so this is page 360, Sister Me. November 20th, 1988, 7 a.m. Back on the I block at prison. I try to blot out the verbal tirades of my insane neighbor with calming thoughts of children playing, laughing, singing in a wonderful play yard.
And the I block is the isolation block. So she was in isolation.
You're not supposed to talk, and you can get infracted if you talk to anyone. So it just depends how much they wanted to really abuse you. You know, it's bad enough that you're in isolation, but then to only have a few people that are mentally off and obscene, you know, their minds are deranged, basically, and obscenely so. That's the kind of thing that they would throw that particular person in the hole with me. I'd be in the hole too, but she would torment me and torment me, kick on my walls. So anyway, I'm back here now. The rule is, I'm not supposed to talk, and neither is she.
Yeah.
But they let her ramble on and beat on my walls at all hours of the day.
Yeah.
She'll just put her heels up on my middle, you know, the wall that we share.
Yeah.
And just kick it, kick it, kick it. Boom! And it goes boom, 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 boom. And then you hear this whiny voice, Veronica, you, Veronica.
Oh my God.
Really sick. I mean, just twisted, right? Anyway, and I'm not allowed to talk back, but the cops are letting her. Now, if I were to intervene, which I often did, they would say, okay, Compton, that's a 207. You know you're not allowed to talk to anyone back here. So then I'd get that infraction. Okay. Excuse that little wandering there. So back on isolation block. All right. Give the spirits a rest while the eyes let down tears of sadness. Sometimes the mind had better warm the heart a little. Give the spirit a rest while the eyes let down tears of sadness. It's good to be courageous, but I'm certain that courage is more than willingness to defend one's beliefs at the price of sacrifice. It takes other forms as well. Sometimes it's courageous to let oneself have emotions like sorrow and regret. Then later pull oneself together to find purpose and inspiration in spite of tragedy. Concealing pain, trying not to feel it, isn't brave. It's often cowardice. The adult accepts anguish as part of life and takes hold of common goods and causes, using the anchor they provide to do what she can set out to set right in the world, not just for herself, but others. Perhaps maturity is best when one can completely let go of oneself and its interest and accept a larger world than oneself. That sets one free to enjoy the happiness of others, even if her own life lacks what she enjoys and appreciates in others. A sharing of that kind can help one cast off personal dilemmas, so that one's personal fate is seen not as a central thing in life, but as just one of a multitude of fates. November 24th, 1988. I'm beginning to lose track of the days again. Yesterday, or the day before. I struggled for a minute to recall what year it was. I realized that it's one of the memories I lose. Pulling so much time, trivial things like zip code here, visiting days, and my release date all dissolve without any recognition of great loss. To know my date to be considered for parole is about 10 more years. Providing I managed to earn all good time and earned all time possible, either a year, either way, more or less, isn't any real consideration. I've learned to hold liberations. I've learned to hold liberation as one holds the anticipation of a sequel to a novel one has enjoyed. Are you eager to read it and see it in print? But it's hardly the point around which all your life revolves. We must get on with these days at hand and concentrate on the struggles and realities that this given life presents to us. Perhaps it's this attitude which explains how I am to do, how I'm able. Perhaps it's this attitude which explains how I am able to remain active and involved in the lives of the other prisoners around me. Acceptance that this is my life. These are the people I live with, a part of my community. I'm able to involve my emotional self, and as a result, my inner needs are better met. I've started using chewing tobacco to stave off my nicotine attacks. Smoking only an hour a day is difficult. I find a chain in here. Art supplies, limitations, light curfews, no mirrors, housing the mental ward patients and ads say right beside me, property restrictions, and other assorted matters that pop up. Oh, December 4th. The matter was posed. Quote, "The issue in life is not what do I expect from life, but what does life expect from me?" Life has no set design or any will that can organize events. Only the individual is subjective. We individuals personalize our own existence. Life, though, does make demands on its captives. Its necessities courses through our very bodies down to the level of every cell. Life is a force that knows nothing of defeat. It drives us on until we are defeated, finally, by the great conqueror, death. Life and death are always involved in an exchange. Where life embraces, death removes and consumes. All who are the stuff of life must spend our limited days joined in its battle until we run out of time, bankrupt, and death comes to collect out our little security. Perhaps it's not really a battle at all, but a give and take exchange. Then what does it mean to ask, quote, "What does life expect from me to live? Yes, I am a part of this organized action, but it isn't me to live. Yes, I'm part of this organized action, but it's me to live." But isn't there more? I then give my most just to the endeavor of living and exhaust each spark of life until, like a candle, it runs out of fuel and blinks out. What about the physically alive vessels of life with plenty of wax and wick left, who loses the will to live when life has such a clear command? Go on living. How can an individual defy the greatest of natural forces and pursue death? How is it that humans can desert the force of life? Misery, disillusionment, pain. How can grief usurp the urge to life? A tree will go on living if it can without even possessing a will, but a child or an infant can fall into such a despair as to self-destruct, literally. Infants and even children in orphanages have been known to retard and become apathetic. Aging adults are known to die from no more than a lacking of a basic will to live. Young, healthy teenagers have put guns to their heads, overdosed, cut their throats, and given up their days. Something inside all these people were missing. Something a tree didn't have or need. What? Human touch, affection, communication, the sense of being needed, being loved, and being able to express love. This is what trees don't have, don't need. These are what make us so much more than trees. But to lack human needs or be unable to satisfy them makes us so much less. Lacking them, we ally ourselves with death against our rightful ally, life. Yet we as people have allowed our government not to see this part of our natural need. The programs and the system, the government neglect this more than they deserve, this more than they serve it. We are quick to endorse endeavors that involve defense spending, building, yet we have overlooked the enemy closer to us, ourselves, the enemy that strikes our homes and victimizes our children, the parents, and even ourselves, the enemy of life, passive apathy. We blame drugs, society, everything that we hold no control over. Yet we're fools because we have the power in the palm of our hands. We individually can, each and every one of us, find the culprit in ourselves. We allow what happens to happen. It takes 1 million individual people to be 1 million strong. 1 added to 1 is 2. Added to 1 more is 3. And so it is with power. When we organize a party for 10 friends and they come, that is power. We think power always lies in others, but they only have what we let them have, what we give them by our passivity. What we miss is recognizing the simple ability to work together. We miss is recognizing that simple ability. Sympathetically is power. We say we have no individual ability to create change. Yet are we only welfare mothers or waitresses or electricians? How do we make a difference? We unite sympathetically. It's sympathy, a basic kind of love, that makes the difference between the dead and the deadly structures of power and the real thing. We unite. We talk. We write letters, make phone calls, and talk some more. Many say there is really nothing we can do about what we know is wrong here. I call bullshit. Everyone wants to complain, moan and groan, bitch and dog this or that. Yet gets nothing done. Nothing gets resolved. It's not that these bitches are bad people. They just don't know they can make a difference. You said it, Mama.
So one of the things that you mentioned that really kind of is embedded right now in my mind is you talked about how we create power within ourselves if we organize. And you talked about 1 + 1 becomes 2, you add another, that's 3, and that's how you get a movement going.
That's right.
That's how you were able to make change. And
Yes.
It's interesting how you mentioned it's the same thing as having power when you invite a group of people to come and spend a dinner with you. That's having power. So for you, it took having that type of power and organization to change some of the programming,
and a lot of the women,
some of the policies.
They'd never seen another woman like that, you know, in the history of the prison.
You were a leader.
I was a leader. And
you protected the most vulnerable,
yes,
the weak.
I did. I considered that my job, you know, as being a conscientious woman.
I remember one time you told me you broke into the office and you destroyed a lot of infractions.
I did. Yes, I was.
That were given to some.
I was notorious
inmates
for that.
that shouldn't have had those infractions to begin with.
It did it more than once.
Because they did it unjustly.
A lot of them were really, really unjust. I had so many felonious infractions, it's absurd. But it didn't really matter because they were going to keep me in prison.
Yeah, yeah, they were hell-bent on that.
Every single day they could.
Yeah, you didn't.
But you know what? All the staff and the wardens wanted me to leave. They supported my release.
Yeah, it was that
For
kid.
years
It was
of
that.
parole years.
It was that Kit Bale.
I know,
that
but
parole board member.
I would have a stack of these fantastic letters from the inmates, from everybody in the community. I mean, then the cops were interviewed, and they had to fill out a form explaining my behavior and how they graded me on all these different parts of my personality. How does she handle stress? Okay. And
yeah,
well, I got out of there.
Yeah, you did. Like 23 years later.
It took a lot of time. They really didn't want to get their foot off my neck. And it was kind of odd and stupid of them to waste so much effort trying to hurt me.
Yeah.
And think that they're going to change me by putting me in more irons, by putting me in an ice cold cell where I can see my breath when I go up to talk in the door to the guard.
That's cold.
That is cold. You can literally, here's the window and my breath you can see. That's not right.
Yeah.
So I told you about having to steal garbage can liners.
Yeah.
And yeah.
To use as a bag to cover yourself, to trap heat from your body.
Exactly. I would split them and make
Napoleon.
make them into a blanket.
Yeah.
And I got, if I could get 2, that was really nice.
Yeah.
Then I could get the full body.
Okay.
You know, get width for the whole body, because with just one, you remember a garbage bag is only this wide. So you've got this strip of plastic, and by the time you know, cut the sides and open it up, that's your sheet of plastic. That's one of the ways you can cut it. That's the way I cut them. They seem to be more efficient. And then the next one, I cut it the same way, and I had stolen tape. You know, just little pieces at a time is all I could steal. They would be on, you know, the bulletin board or something.
Okay.
And so I used that. And of course they confiscated it for me, like, I don't know how many times. 4 or 5 times they came in and took my plastic sheet, told me it was illegal. They said I was also breaking the state rules by putting a towel inside of my cold air vent, because it would push air that's like 58 degrees. Very, very cold. And all the inmates that were in the hole always put toilet paper, put a towel, whatever they could grab to stuff those vents. Now, some of the women were stupid, you know. They would just sleep with them, and then they would get respiratory problems. You know?
Oh, man.
Yeah, and I used to tell everybody, you know, stuff your vents, stuff your vents, stuff your vents so you don't get sick, you know.
Yeah.
Because I had walking pneumonia in there more than once, and they thought I was going to die. They literally thought I was dying from AIDS. They said I had all of the symptoms. They took me to the AIDS clinic, and I hadn't been able to stand.
It was just the living conditions.
Yeah.
That really brought you down and tore down your immune system.
It must have been, obviously.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it. I'm so happy that I got to interview you again and talk more about Sister Me.
Thank you so much for
It's got so much depth to it. Veronica is wearing one of our t-shirts.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to show this to you guys. These t-shirts were given to our platinum members, who of course get our merchandise whenever we put merchandise out for Museum Americana. But it says Ma in the front, and on the back it says, "Put a cap on capitalism, the Duchess." That's one of Veronica's, there's Ma right there. Yeah, Ma. Okay. Yeah, that's one of Veronica's favorite quotes there. Put a cap on capitalism. Well, thank you guys for joining us, Veronica.
Peace out.
All right. Love you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.